In last video, we have seen what is testing and the software development life cycle to be followed for development of any software. Today, we are going to see the fundamental principles of testing. So, the first fundamental principle of testing is the goal of testing is to find out defects before customers find them out. So, before reaching to customer, the defects should be found first and they should be removed before they reach to the customer. So here in the second book, one example is given. The income one car the marketing person is showing to the customer, and customer is telling that the car is yet to be painted. Isn't the final paint is remaining for the car, and the marketing team person says yes, the final paint is remaining. So here customer is finding the defect into the car. So like this, it should not happen. The defect should be found and they should be taken care before they reach to the product reach to the customer. This is the first principle of testing. Second principle of testing is exhaustive testing is not possible. The program testing can only show the presence of defects, never their absence. So here one of the customer is taking the test drive of car, and the person who is showing him the car, he is telling the features of the car, that the accelerator is very good, it accelerates with this and this speed, and all that. And the customer at last the customer says that yes, this car is going to accelerate with very good speed, but it accelerates even when I apply the brakes. So they shouldn't happen. That if you are telling the presence, if your testing method is only showing the presence of defects, it should not it doesn't go for the absence of the defects. So here what is the presence of the feature? The feature is showing the car is accelerates with very good speed. This is the feature the team person is telling, and what the customer is saying, but it accelerates when I apply the brakes. So this should not happen. This is the second principle of testing. The third principle of testing is testing applies all through the software life cycle, and it should not be at the end of cycle activity. So there are different cycles, there are different stages of the software development life cycle. So the first phase is requirement analysis phase. So here in this requirement analysis phase, if the defects are occurring in this phase itself, then what will happen? They will be reflected in design phase, they will be reflected in planning phase, and the next phases means coding phase and all the phases of SDLC. It goes on multiplying the effect of defects. So this shouldn't happen. That's why the testing should be done in each and every phase of software development life cycle. So if there are some miscommunication, there is some miscommunication between the marketing team persons and the customer. So the team person, if team person wrongly write the requirements of the customer, and that the same requirements will be followed by the developer. So obviously, if the guidelines are not followed, then the developer is going to develop the product with the wrong requirements, and here the defects are generated. So likewise, in each and every phase you should apply testing. In requirement analysis, you should test whether the requirements are with respect to the customer expectation or not. Then in planning phase, you should test that whether the requirements are okay and you are planning in good way. What are the expectation of customer, that I should get the software in in 1 month only? Then you have to plan accordingly, isn't it? So you have to hire more software engineers if required to complete your task within given deadline. So like this, each and every phase should have the testing. Then the fourth principle of this testing is understand the reason behind the test. So every time you need to find out what is reason behind this type of testing. So there are various types of testings. testing again, various different techniques of testing are there, but which technique is to be applied and why that technique we are going to apply it here, the reason behind that it should be known. Otherwise, the story of monk and cat is given by the given in the second book. So here the monk used to meditate and his cat is crawling here and there saying meow meow. So it is quite disturbing to the monk in his meditation. So what the monk said to his students that you should tie the cat to one pillar while I am meditating. So this was carried out, and after 2 3 generations, the students of that monk, after 2 3 generations, they were searching for a cat, and they were saying that if we don't have a cat and if we don't tie the cat to the pillar, we can't meditate. So this shouldn't happen. You should know the reason behind, one should know the reason behind why I should tie a cat to pillar, isn't it? So they would have been knowing the reason. So this shouldn't happen. Next principle of testing is test the test first. So here audiologist example is given. One audiologist is there, he is having a problem in his hearing, and still if he is testing, he is going to test the woman patient, who is whether the patient is having some hearing problem or not. So in that case, what will happen if the test is not correct, means audiologist itself is having some problem with hearing, how he can be able to test the hearing problem of another patient, isn't it, of his patient. So this will not be the true testing. So that's why you need to test the tests first. Then next principle is test, develop immunity and have to be revised constantly. So if you are going in only one way with the testing, then obviously you will be thinking in the same way, and you will feel that my software is working very nice and everything is going out correctly, isn't it? But if you apply some different things on the same software, then you may get errors. So that here the principle is written as test, develop immunity. If you go in the same direction every time, then it will develop immunity, and you will be unable to detect the defects in your software. So it's just like when we apply pesticides on the crop, then the based on the crop gets used to the pesticides, type of pesticides used, isn't it? And then develop immunity, so they may not be getting affected by the same pesticides every time. So you will have to change the pesticides, like that you will have to change the test every time when a new software is there. Then seventh principle is defects occur in cluster and testing should focus on these clusters. So why defects are occurring in cluster? Because one defect may be linked with some another module. So one defect in one module will create the defect in another module when these two modules are going to be interface. When some module is dependent on the previous module, which is a defective module, then obviously you will not be getting the correct result. So defects occur in cluster and testing should focus on all these clusters. Then the eighth principle of this testing is, next principle of testing is testing encompasses defect prevention. So here for defect prevention, you need to find out the root cause of the of this defect. So once you find out the root cause, then you will be able to remove that root cause, and hence your software will be bug free or defect free. The ninth principle is testing is fine balance of defect prevention as well as defect detection. So you need to concentrate on prevention as well as defect detection. Once you detect the defects, then you will be able to rectify the error. You will be able to get out of that defects, isn't it? And again, you should try for the prevention of defects, means by carrying out some guidelines or sticking to some procedures, you are able to prevent the defects. This is nothing but this is known as quality assurance and quality control. We are going to study this in the last three units of the syllabus. Then the next principle is intelligent and well planned automation is key to realizing benefits of testing. So to get the benefits of testing, you have to plan intelligently the test methods. You have to go for some if you want to go for some automated testing, then which type of testing you should use, which technique you should go for, how it should be applied, on which module, which testing tool you will use. Like this, you have to do the activities well planned, then only they will succeed. The last basic principle of this testing is testing requires talented, committed people who believe in themselves and work in team. So here, obviously, for testing, manual testing, the testers needs to be hired, and the testers should be talented enough to find out the defects, to find out the errors in your software. They should be committed to the testing criteria, testing methods, so that they will be testing again and again till all the errors get rectified, and who believes in themselves and working team. So these are the actually the characteristics of a good tester. So like this, such a team you should hire in order to do the successful testing. So here are the 11 principles of testing, basic fundamental principles of testing. We stop here.